Hey, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about exhaust. If you'll recall, last time on our 39 Oldsmobile project, we got the engine installed, but we need to get the exhaust hooked up before we can really move forward with it. We need to make sure it clears the starter, clears the dipstick, and that it's not going to be too low on the ground. So we're going to go over options with stock and aftermarket and what's going to be right for you. Let's go ahead and get started on this. Let's go ahead and get started fitting up our pipe. Now we have our header bolted in place. We have our exhaust pipe down here cut back to a reasonable length. This is an exhaust pipe that was already existing there. We're going to use it and save ourselves a little bit of time. The problem is getting this big piece in here. Now this is a kit that was purchased from Flowtech, and it comes with a down pipe as well as a flange that once you cut the pipe to length, you weld the flange on there. It does come with the gaskets, however, it does not come with the hardware. So you will need to make sure you have bolts to bolt it up to the bottom of the header flange. Let's take a closer look, and we're going to mark it, go ahead and cut it, and tack it into place. So we're going to start by feeding the pipe into position a little bit and figure out our front to back length. So what we're going to do is line the pipe up with the center tubes and then come back here to our original pipe and mark it and go ahead and cut it. Now we've already done that, so at that point we move on and we're going to slide it onto there. And this way it kind of holds our place, and we'll figure out our height where we need to cut this. The easiest way to do it is take a scribe or a marker, go to the bottom of the flange, come straight across, give yourself a little bit extra, and mark it. Now, when planning exhaust, think about a couple things. One, what's your budget? Two, what your application is. Is it a custom or a stock application? Is your engine going to be stock? Is it going to be modified? Where's your steering going to be? Where's your suspension going to be traveling? And as we learned earlier, where's your dipstick going to go? You need to think about these things. Now, a stock manifold on a stock motor, there's really nothing wrong with it. It doesn't hurt anything. Yeah, header flows better, but these are usually free. So, think about that. In a custom application like we have back here on the Oldsmobile, we had to go with a header because of where the motor mounts were, the dipstick was, and also the non-stock steering and suspension setup we have here with a Mustang 2 setup. Pay attention to what you're doing. Think ahead a couple steps on where everything is going, and also keep your budget in mind. There's a million options out there. Do your research. Moved on to the wiring. That's just what I pulled out of the dash. And so you can see here, look at that, there's holes everywhere. That tack is ginormous. I don't even know if it works. Let's take a look at the gauges, because that's where we're going to start. So this is the factory gauge panel from the Oldsmobile, and as you can see, somebody took a sheet metal panel and cut the holes in it to make these modern style aftermarket gauges work. This is fine. This works just fine. It doesn't really look that bad either. But there's a couple things. One, you see what's missing back here? All these holes that are empty are supposed to have light bulbs in it. So this guy, unfortunately, was driving around at night, and when he turned his headlights on, he had no way to see his gauges inside. We're going to fix that. We're just going to put some universal lights in there, make it a little bit brighter for him. Also, you'll notice the gauge is missing. Yeah, right there. That's because it's the water temperature gauge, because my dumbass accidentally cut the probe. It's my fault. I got trigger happy with my side cuts, cutting wires, and I cut that. You cannot replace that piece on these. I will have to replace the entire gauge, but luckily these are only about 30 bucks. Not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and get the gauges inserted, cleaned up, and we're actually going to make a harness with a weather pack style connector on it for easy disconnect, and it's also a cleaner look. We'll show you how it goes. And the gauges are wired up. Really, basically, we've just got 4 wires coming out. You're going to have your ignition power, you're going to have ground, you've got your fuel level sending unit, and then you've got your light power. Real basic, real easy. We did it nice and neat. See, it's not moving all over the place. It's not rubbing and chafing on anything. We've got plenty of clearance all the way around. That's what you're looking for. For today's tool time, we're going to talk about using a multimeter and how to figure out what post is what on your headlight switch that has no instructions. First things first, make sure you have your meter hooked up. We're going to be reading on ohms. We have it at our lowest setting, which is 200 on this one. We're going to be reading somewhere 10 ohms or less. We are assuming that this is our power input because it is unique and by itself. If you go from pin to pin, you can see that there is no continuity on any of them. You're not reading any resistance, so we're going to pull it out one click. This is the accessory position. Again, put one lead on your input and go to your leads. That one has resistance, this one has resistance, and this one has resistance, but this one does not. So at that point, you know that 1, 2, and 3, those posts are going to be your accessory posts. Look at that. Now, you only got one position left. That's all the way out. Again, positive input, and now we have resistance on this post. This is your full on position. However you're wiring your lamps up. In this application, we're going to make that our headlamp position. When you pull it to the first section, that's going to be your dash lights and your parking lights, and this position will be your headlamps. Ta-da! There you go. So we decided to mount our fuse panel right here next to the steering column. Now, it's not the most hidden place, but anything up higher, we run into the booster getting in the way. And then anything up higher than that, you run into all kinds of other things and you can't reach it. So here works fine. We've started separating our legs out. We've got our rear section here, fuel pump sending unit, and our rear lighting. These are all going to our dash, and then we're going to start working on these right here. Keep on chugging. Progress, progress, progress. Again, the fuse panel right there, we've got our wires running up. This harness over here is running through the top back to the taillights. We've got our other harnesses separated out. You've got the one going to your lighting control, and then this one is your headlight switch right here. And then we've got our wiring running out of the firewall right there through a grommet for the engine. Just like we talked about before, we separated our legs, we organized them, and we've run them. And then you come out front and you've got your lighting separated, and then we have our different engine wiring separated. We're going to get the starter bolted on next time, finish wiring this up, and test fire this engine. That's going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully we'll see you guys again. Like and subscribe. Follow me on social media, Greasy Boy Customs. Feel free to email me at greasyboycustoms@gmail.com. If you have any questions about what we've done today, hit me up. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. Next time, we're going to go ahead and move forward with our wiring and test fire this engine and get this Oldsmobile wrapped up, hopefully, because we got a Camaro over there waiting for some love we got to get on. See you guys next time. Happy hot rodding.